Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 8 of the Weeknight Warriors Sim series. It's Kevin alongside Luke up here in the booth, and we are at Rockingham. This should be a fun one. Luke, how you doing?
Not doing bad, Kevin. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I know Rockingham. It takes a lot of skill out here. I know. We both have tried Rockingham in the past, and we did not display the most amount of skill, but we're hoping these drivers have what it takes to get the checkered flag here in our 8th week of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're the only thing we're familiar with out at this track has got to be getting that, getting the stripe. That's for sure.
Yeah, not as bad as Darlington, but I will say out of turn 2 is dangerous. At least for me it was. Gets very loose, and overcorrecting is my specialty, so it's going to be interesting to see if these drivers, who are led right now by Connor Price, unfortunately, I'll get to it in a second why that's unfortunate on the grid, but right now our top 5 in qualifying look like Price, Barnes, Dawson Price, Garrett Hummel, and Matt Morrison. But yeah, the reason it's unfortunate is because Omar Rodriguez and Connor Price have both been bought out to start from the rear. $5 to start from the rear,
Really
paid to the league's pot. So both of them have to get the EOL off the rip here at Rockingham tonight.
interesting. Definitely makes for an interesting dynamic out here.
Yeah, and I don't hate the idea to qualify if you're Connor Price anyways. He now has the best pit box in the place. I know if we do see green flag pits or even yellow pits, that's important. So he's got himself a pole. I don't know if that's a point advantage or anything in terms of season points, but it feels good to sit on the pole. And with about a minute left in qualifying, he's looking good for that.
Yeah, and how about
I'm
Nicholas
seeing
Warner picking up a later one there? He gets within the top 10. That's 7 on the pole for him.
yeah, I'm seeing about 6 drivers who have not yet qualified. So still a possibility to not get that pole position, but right now it's looking good if you're the 28 car. But how about Danny Barnes coming out here and putting up a heater of a lap at a 096? And I think he's going to be starting with command here, if I'm not mistaken, just due to Connor Price getting that EO. It's either going to be Danny Barnes getting the command from that outside, or it's going to be Dawson Price moving up into that one spot.
Not reading anybody on the track right now. I believe this is probably going to wrap it up here for the qualifying.
Yeah, I'm just getting a head count here. It looks like our field is about
We're looking right at
32 cars out here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, or well, 33 plus race control.
About 33 drivers out here tonight.
Should be a good one. I know Rockingham can hold really good green flag racing. I know, between tire strategy, getting track position, all that, it definitely gets interesting out here. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that we get some green flag racing out here tonight.
And let's see what these guys can bring out here as they're going to begin to take their spots on the grid out here. We're going to do a little bit of pacing here before we get to racing.
Yeah, and these guys had an extended break. I know about half, or maybe a little less than half the guys I hear were here last week for that All-Star Dirt race. But in terms of normal oval racing or normal asphalt racing out here, these guys had a break for about 2 weeks. So hopefully they can wipe the dust off and get back to that clean racing we saw our last time around, where we saw Travis Farmer get into victory lane.
Yeah, that was a good win by him. And he's currently looking at a 16th place start here in this one. Not, pretty much right smack dab in the middle. Got some positions to make up, but really not too far back. We got about 150 laps out here, so everybody's got some time to make things happen.
Yeah, and just already jumping the gun here on how many cautions I'm going to set the line at. I think it's about time. Actually, you know what? I'll wait until we see a few laps of racing out here to decide how many cautions I think the line should be set at. But as for the grid, I go ahead and start rattling off these 33 names. How about Connor Price getting the pole out here tonight at the Rock with Danny Barnes on his outside? Your second row is going to be Dawson Price and Garrett Hummel. Third row is going to be Matt Morrison and Seth LaCroix. Fourth row is going to be Nicholas Warner and Kenan McCullough. Fifth row is going to be Heath Job and Aiden Stevens. Sixth row is Christopher McCullough and Sean Merriman. Richard Elliott and Nolan Gross. Nick Haynes and Travis Farmer. Jacob Petrosky and Daryl Johnson. Regan Shockley and Ty Carino. James Hudson and Chad Strelo. Blaze Billing and Kean Fry. Nathan Swafford and Hunter Zell. Jaden Knight and John Marino, Omar Rodriguez and Peyton Bass, Buster Malcolm and Cooper Laerty, and rounding out your 33 car field is going to be Justin Ziemecki. So 33 cars out here. We're seeing already Connor Price and Omar Rodriguez dropping to the rear. So unfortunate that they got bought out, but.
Yeah, you know, though, we got a lot of laps out here. I don't think it's going to be too big of a concern for them. They're no stranger to getting up there in that front bunch and making things happen out here. I guess we'll just have to see what they can do with the position they get started with out
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like we're going to be extended under caution for one more lap. It looks like the pace car's lights went back on, so maybe getting some of these EOLs sorted out, making sure everybody's in their positions. But the lights are back off, and we will be going green this time by.
And before we get ready to get this thing kicked off, quick thanks to our sponsor out here for the weekend. You know, Fast Fred's Wrap Shop. If you're looking for any good paint schemes out here, like some of them you're seeing out here on these drivers' cars, go ahead and hit up Fred and he'll get you taken care of. We're going to get ready to get this thing underway. See quite a few drivers back here filing in single file.
Green flag is out, and we are racing for the first time here tonight at Rockingham.
We got 150 laps in. Oh, man. Bit of a rough scramble to start and a dangerous situation going on just a few cars back from your leaders. It's going to fan him out a little bit and create a little bit of space already.
Yeah, a little hiccup there for Danny Barnes off the restart, but a good recovery, keeping him in the top four and not battling with Aiden Stevens out back. Oh, and I see a spinner out back.
Oh, you see more than a
that's
spinner, Kevin.
Big wreck.
Oh, and it's not over.
Oh, and
Dang.
no, it is not. It's not close to over, but the first thing that comes to my mind when I see this, Luke, is what happened to Connor Price and what happened to Omar Rodriguez. Because $5 could have just ruined their night before it even started.
Yeah, and you know, we're going to have to go back and take a look at this, and we'll watch the overhead of Omar Rodriguez. See what we can gather. Because we know what happened in front of him.
Oh. Okay, all things considered,
Omar did
fine.
Omar did fine. I don't think there's anything. I don't even think he got a scratch.
I think we're gonna have to go back and get a read on which car that was that kind of came back up onto the track.
Well, we know the 24 was involved here in some way. That's Peyton Bass. Oh no, what number is that? That is the 93. That's Shockley.
Regan Shockley getting loose across, kind of into turn one. Maybe a little tap there by James Hudson. Tries to save it, tries to save it, tries to keep it off the wall. You know, you don't want to go into that inside wall, but unfortunately, if it's not the wall, it's the field. And whew, the
The
4 car barely getting
24,
through. The 24, not so
not
lucky.
or the 07. And that 24 has a whole front left wheel completely knocked out of alignment. And you know, Kevin, very early on into this thing, we already have 3 meatballs being issued.
Wow. Yeah, I'm seeing extensive damage to the 24, the 93.
And I'm getting word right now, Kevin, the 24, the 93, as well as the number 3 have all been issued the meatball and will not be continuing out here.
Yeah, that's going to be Justin Semecki, who looks to me like he doesn't have a front end of his car, much less a front bumper, so...
Yeah, and no mechanical expert by any means here, Kevin, but I don't know if smoke is an ideal thing to be seeing coming off the hood of a car. Jumping back up here to your leaders, they're all filing in. Lights off the pace car, and we're going to get ready to get this thing going for the second time out here on the night. First one strikes early, Kevin. I know you wanted to wait a little bit for that caution prediction, but what's it got you thinking? Just, I know you're not going to make it just yet, but you see it early. You got any thoughts on it?
It's got me thinking around a dozen of Baker's dozen. You know, I'm trying to think. I think the most comparable track so far has to be Dover. I think we had somewhere around 12 or 13. But I'm going to table it for a few more laps, see if we can get things under control, maybe some early race jitters, and get back to that racing that we're hoping for.
Speaking of racing, we're back at it once again.
And, and right back under yellow here. And Noah, looking at your chat,
man.
I think getting me going would be you coming out here and racing.
And,
but
you know, Kevin, it seems to be when it rains, it pours out here. We get 2 back-to-back cautions. And I see 2 new meatballs issued. That is Nathan Swafford.
Chad Strelo and Nathan Swafford, yeah.
I'm seeing Nathan Swafford and a Connor Price meatball as well.
Oh, man.
Go back and watch this a little bit. Oh, man. .28 tries to go low to avoid it, and the 40 just throws him into the wall. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's 2 big wrecks here in the first. First, what, 3 green flag laps out here? I mean, I'm not saying this field's, you know, getting killed early, but at the same time, I think we're down almost, you know, what, 8 cars now with just too much damage to even continue. I know.
Yeah.
At this pace, at least, it's going to be a very short night for a lot of these drivers and a very long night for the guys that aren't involved.
It seems that way. We know how this track is, and we know it's not a very forgiving one, especially on the exits of these turns. We saw a decent result of it there. Maybe next intermission here, we'll see if we can bring someone in if it's a little more spaced out here, if we get a good green flag run out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are just trying to settle in and get to some racing, and I don't blame them. I know if you're Dawson Price, you got the jump on these restarts. You're not too upset to see pacing laps, but at the same time, I don't think any of these guys have yet shown their ability on the track, and I think a lot of these guys want to know if they have the pace to make something happen.
Things definitely still at high tensions here. Pace car is going to make its way in. And green flag's the call. We're racing once again out here, and a good jump for the 54 of Dawson Price.
Yeah, good jump there for Price, and we saw very momentarily a little bit of 3 wide towards the back, but we'll sort it back to 2s. Getting up to speed, looking for that first, long
Oh,
green
and around
flag
goes
run of the
Heath
night.
Joe into the
and-
pits.
Oh,
Wow.
unfortunate. Heath Joe.
That's unfortunate, but I don't think he took any damage from that. I think he drifted perfectly smooth into the pits.
Yeah, Heath Joe.
Either way,
He kind of did that one all to himself. Just kind of looking back, it wasn't. There was some contact with Aiden Steven, but
Garrett Hummel making the pass for 4th place position.
yeah. How about Travis Farmer? He's making his way up through the field. I want to keep my eye on him throughout this race, just due to the fact that he has won our last regular season race, and we're strong believers here in the momentum being carried from race on to the next.
Absolutely. He started in, 16th? And currently getting reports of a spin, Kevin. Buster Malcolm is in the infield grass. Still green.
Buster Malcolm, but he's able to get it back on the track and going, so I think
just
we're going to
watching that back, it was a self-spin.
Ooh,
Add the
yellow
extra
flag is
4.
out now.
That I'm getting a read on James Hudson, who is smoking badly.
Yeah, I'm also seeing that James Hudson. I didn't see anybody around him when the caution came out, so I think this one was self-inflicted as well.
In the same spot.
Oh!
We've seen it claim 3 victims so far. First, Heath Job, James Hudson, and a lap before that, we saw Buster Malcolm. It happened literally in the exact same turn. Just going back here, we'll watch that back. Here's Buster Malcolm a lap before that happened.
Yeah, just a little too much throttle coming out of 4 there, getting them all out of sorts. And fortunately for Buster Malcolm, that caution came when he needed to. I don't know how extensive that damage is, but sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, and I think in this scenario, the 2 car James Hudson is the bug, because that was a hard hit, and I don't think his night is going to continue.
Oh, yeah. For anyone missing
our scoring right now.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to clear up the reference for anyone missing it. The wall would be the windshield.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Well, I was just going to say, Heath Job kind of had that spin, went into the pits, got a penalty. He's 2 laps down with no damage, so his night's far from over, especially at the rate of cautions we're seeing. It was unfortunate he got that penalty because, he didn't mean to speed into the pits, but 2 laps down, definitely recoverable. The only other car 2 laps down is James Hudson at the moment, and I imagine Heath Job will be able to outpace Hudson.
And we'll have to see. They're going to go around one more time. So far, we've seen two pretty big wrecks. It's involved multiple vehicles, but we've seen quite a few self spins out of that exit of 4. So that is definitely going to be one of the turns to watch out here in this thing.
All right, look, the line has been set.
Okay. I'll let you take your... I usually take my vote first. I'll let you take it.
I'm gonna take the under.
Okay. Well, just for argument's sake here, I'll take the over. I want the under, but I'll take the over for the argument's sake.
No, we got. I'm just trying to factor in here. We got 3 green-white checkers. We got. Right now, we're averaging a caution every 6 laps. I think it's a mathematically good line. It depends how long, when that green flag run happens. Depends. It really just depends on how long it is. But green flag is out, and Dawson Price on the restart here, jumping out in front of Matt Morrison and diving it in to turn 1. Aiden Stevens trying to follow, and he will.
Oh! One gets a little loose there on the backstretch. It's going to be the 62 over Ty Carino. Dawson Price still with a half-second lead now almost. But he's looked pretty good here off these last couple of restarts, Gavin.
Yeah, he has. Speaking of looking good, how about Omar Rodriguez? Started at the rear. He's making moves up into 12th place.
Yeah, just shy of the top 10. Doesn't have too much further to go. Just behind him, see Kenny McCullough making the pass around Cooper Liardi for the 15th place position. But in terms of your leaders, Stevens and Morrison are hunting down Price. They are closing the distance. Price is doing a good job, giving him a good run for the money.
Yeah, and it seems like so far these guys have settled in a lot nicer than we've seen on past restarts, but we're gonna get a little battle here between Morrison and Steven for second place.
Door going into 3. Steven's gonna file in
Giving up
behind
pretty
Morrison.
easily.
How about it, Kevin? Just 24 of your 34 drivers that started this race are still in the lead.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's going to lower or not, but I'm reading caution, trying to get a read here.
Yep.
I'm
Getting
reading Hunter Azell slowed.
Jaden Knight as well. We'll go back and see what we can find out here.
Yeah, and I think we hit. I think we hit the nail on the head there. That's Jaden Knight. Guess what turn it was, Luke?
I got a feeling it would be 4. Yep. It appears that way.
Let's get loose.
19.
Yeah, victim of it. It's gonna be Hunter Zell. It's gonna bring out number 4 though, and I think neither of those cars have, too bad of damage here. So I think in terms of continuing the race, both Hunter Zell and Jaden Knight are gonna be all right.
Yep, just going to be a matter of getting in there when they can to fix it up.
And Matt Morrison was able to make the pass on Aiden Stevens for second place before that caution flew. So he's going to be up into 2. Stevens back to 3. But Dawson Price holding strong out here. You know what, Luke? You going to bring him on over and see how he's feeling about the start of this race?
Yeah, sure, bring him on over.
Hey, Dawson, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, so far so good in this thing. I gotta ask, though, do you like seeing, the guys in the back kind of kill each other and you able to pace around and lead laps? Or would you like to see a green flag run so you can really, showcase the speed out here?
You know, I think the racer in me wants to run green and just go at it. But I'm not complaining because free laps led or free laps led, going for that most laps led. Little bonus here, but either or really. I'll take either way. As long as no more of the teammates get taken out, I think that'll be alright.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you and your team the best of luck in the rest of this race.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thanks. That was Dawson Price coming in. What would you think, Luke, if you were out here leading laps and, would you want it to stay green so you can try to, create a gap and try to just use your own driving ability, or do you kind of not mind just pacing around here in the lead?
I mean, honestly, Kevin, I think you need to take a step back there. I think you need to take a whole step back on that situation in general. You take a look at it on how much sleep are you running on, all right? If you're tired, these kind of pace laps out here is just going to get you off edge, right? But if, you're wide awake, this is kind of something you're looking forward to here. You're just getting the chance to breathe up front, let them tires stay cool. But,
Well,
I just think it could be a very different perspective,
yeah, that was kind of my thinking in terms of the tires. I think I'd be fine with the pacing because if I'm in the lead, that means it's been a short run because I'm not going to lead a race on a long run, not the way I save tires. So I don't think these guys mind being able to keep their tires cool by caution every few laps. But green flag is back out. Dawson Price is going to go back up in front of Matt Morris or Aiden Stevens and cover both lines. Good restart for him. Aiden Stevens able to get around Matt Morrison on the restart. Richard Elliott's going to follow in.
See some tight racing going on right now around Omar Rodriguez near the 10th place position. Ooh, a little bit of blinking going on in front of him. That's, I believe, Nolan Gross.
Yeah, and we still got drivers out here setting their best laps of the race. So, tires haven't been factored in too terribly thus far, just because, they haven't had the time to get worn down. Dawson Price still out here in the lead over Aiden Stevens. Garrett Hummel has overtaken Richard Elliott for P4, but other than that, these guys have really settled down, it seems. I think at this point, they can only hurt themselves, and, I say that while looking at turn 4, because it's been a killer so far.
It has. I mean, we've seen it claim, I believe, what, 3, 4 drivers now? Just on self spins alone. How about a battle for second place now? Aiden Stevens and Matt Morrison gonna give it a go again.
Yeah, Aiden Stevens was able to get him on the restart, but Matt Morrison now, with the fastest lap of the night, I'd like to add in, looking to overtake for second place. So far, solid defense though by the 74. So he's going to re-clear. This type of battling doing favors to Dawson Price, but once they single file back out, it looks like, Aiden Stevens is able to get a nice little speed boost and get pretty close to that 54. So it's a lot of ebb and flow, but this time around, Aiden Stevens is going to give it up and let Matt Morrison go hunt down the 54 of Dawson Price. Garrett Hummel almost able to find an opportunity to slip into that third spot as well. Aiden Stevens is going to go high, and I think he's going to let that one happen as well. Just try to cool down his tires, save what he can. He knows that this is kind of a 4-car breakaway before they get back to Darrell Johnson, so no problem just letting Garrett Hummel kind of take that spot from him.
And we're seeing single file racing the whole way back right now.
Yeah, we know Matt Morrison has the speed out here, but is he going to have what it takes to make it around Dawson Price? He's just about caught up to him, about 0.2 of a gap there. We know the 54 Dawson Price is a good defensive driver.
We'll have to see what he can do with it. Pretty early into this one, we're approaching the 50 lap marker, so we got a little over 100 laps left. The front pack has stayed relatively consistent out here, but we've seen a lot of instances near the mid to back.
Yeah, absolutely, and as this kind of gets more and more spread out, I think the likelihood of a caution gets lower and lower. I know we saw Buster Malcolm, for example, spun on his own, but then was able to keep it going, and we were able to stay green. So as long as these guys aren't really, killing each other or staying on the track, I think, the likelihood of a caution coming out's lowering. Dawson Price was able to defend the surge of Matt Morrison and kind of create a little bit of a gap in doing so. About a half a second back, then another half a second to Garrett Hummel. We're coming up on that third of the way through point, and these guys, are probably starting to feel their tires a little bit. It's probably starting to become a game of, who was able to conserve their tires on those short runs we had in between cautions, as well as, this kind of longer run we've seen.
Yeah, and it's definitely been our longest green flag stretch out here, as we're just 4 laps shy of the 50 lap marker. Dawson Price still leading away. That front field has kind of dissipated now. Stevens being chased down now by Darrell Johnson. He's caught up to him. He's going to look to the inside. Doesn't quite have it. Johnson making his way up now into 4th place. This is your group behind the leaders right now, running a very tight battle. You see a little bit of action going on back here near Omar Rodriguez. Pass on Kian Fry. Oh, and we are under caution once again. Getting read of Christopher McCullough involved. I'm not seeing any other names. He elects to take the tow, so we're going to go back and see what we got. That's a tough shot. That is a tough shot. I can watch this from another angle here. It's John Marino here. Let's see if we can maybe get a cockpit view here. You know, you can be the judge of that one there. It's a tough one to call. It's definitely a tough one to call, in my opinion. But, anyways, jumping back live here. The rest of the guys are all in the pit lane right now, I believe, apart from Dawson Price. Just pulling up the battle box here. Dawson Price has not pit yet. I believe he is the only one who did not come in on this pit cycle.
Interesting. Maybe thinking he's gonna, need an extra tire set late here.
Yeah, maybe. Or he's confident in the set he's got on right now. He just doesn't feel the need to swap them.
True.
Getting bunched back up once again. Pace car's in and we're racing once again Start of lap 56.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Dawson Price is going to want to play pretty defensive here to try to burn up the new tires since the guys behind him. But it's really going to be interesting to me to see if, Matt Morrison is able to fly by or if it's going to be, kind of not a big a factor as we thought it'd be. Oh, and we got a spin.
Sideways, Daryl Johnson. And once again, Kevin, the exit of turn 4 claims another victim. And man,
I remember saying pre-race that I thought turn 2 would be the big one. I know that's what kept getting me, but it seems I was wrong.
Man, he was looking good this whole stint here. He's on some fresh, I would assume some fresh tires here. Just...
Kept it off the wall, though.
I was going to say, all things considered, I mean, he spins out pretty good. But apart from him, everybody else holds it together. Nobody else was involved heavily. He didn't take any damage overall. I think it was a pretty contained incident. But that's going to send Dawson Price into the pits. Stand, it's going to be Matt Morrison with his first jump of the race.
Yeah, Dawson Price, an interesting strategy here, because he's not really getting much of a tire advantage, but lost a lot of track position. I think, in an ideal world, that runs about 10 laps green, then a caution flies, then he can come get a 10-lap tire advantage, but maybe cutting his losses here and just deciding that now's the time to put on the new tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's my guess. I believe there's a couple others that went in with him as well. A few others in there just patching up some damage. Either way, like I said, Matt Morrison going to get his first jump of the race here. Aiden Stevens on the outside, Garrett Hummel, and now Omar Rodriguez up into the top. And this thing underway, racing once again.
And outside line seems to do very well on the restart, so it looks like the 78 of Garrett Hummel's kind of going to die off and fall back to 4th, but able to file in.
Still a very tight bunch right there around that P6 to P10 area. And already under caution. Oh, man! Hard up into the wall is your race leader, Matt Morrison. And damn, we're going to go back and watch that one. Oh.
Little first and second action.
Yeah. And, we'll watch the far chase here of this in slow-mo.
Well, I think the question here is there a gap? Because obviously Aiden Stevens is not trying to file in behind Matt Morrison there. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. Okay. You know, we'll go
But
back
is
and we'll
there
watch. This is the nose. This is the nose of Aiden Stevens.
is there a full car length is the question. I mean, it looks like maybe the 6 is coming down a little bit, but at the same time, I can't sit here and tell you that that's a gap that I would go for with 88 laps to go.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. But I mean, I can definitely see. I can definitely
Yeah,
see
look,
the
it
argument.
was there until it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough one to call. Either
I'd say a
way,
racing deal,
yeah.
but
Either way, a very unfortunate racing deal nonetheless for Matt Morrison, who is no doubt going to have to go in and make his way in to get some repairs done.
and how about Omar Rodriguez? Started dead last due to being paid out, and is now up into second place.
And I was just talking about him last restart when he made his way up into fourth. Seems to be making the transfers and being in the right spot at the right time to make the passes. Lights off the pace car. Aiden Stevens is going to get his jump here this one now. Omar Rodriguez is going to be on his door.
Yep, look, and I'm seeing that's night over for Matt Morrison. But the green flag is out, and Aiden Stevens now in P1. A good jump there for Stevens. Omar Rodriguez keeping pace with them as he's trying to find his first lead of the evening. About Garrett Hummel now, trying to make moves. He's up there, kind of a 3-car breakaway we see between Hummel and Petrosky, but those 3 are keeping it tight with each other.
A little bit of fighting going on back there. We see a little battle going on between Petrosky and Fry. He's going to make his way on around up into the 6th place position. Mainly just cars filing in line here and getting this thing. So we're starting to get ready to get the flag running order here. We'll see how it pans out. Oh man!
Ooh,
Squirrely into
hard
the wall
wall
back
action
there.
there.
It's the 78 of Garrett
Garrett
Hummel.
Hummel. Yeah, and he's a lot of speed. Due to that, he's going to lose positions to Petrosky as well as Farmer. And here comes Kean Fry now.
He's going to make the pass, and Job looking for it as well. He's going to go well high up onto his line here.
How about Dawson Price back there? Has led the most laps of the evening, and he's trying to find his way back to that lead. Coming into the pits is going to be Garrett Hummel. I'd imagine maybe a toe link issue, maybe. Some sort of wheel damage at the very least, causing him to not be able to perform out here anymore.
About the battle for first place, Omar Rodriguez getting the pass.
Yeah, how about it? Made it work around Aiden Stevens, and now he is in the lead.
Garrett Hummel making his way into the pits.
About a lap ago.
Oh!
Ooh.
Sliding through the infield on the backstretch. Job there on that exit of turn 2.
Stay green out here. Dawson Price slowly moving up. He's up into 7th place, Luke.
And we're seeing a lot of movement going on in the field right now. Omar Rodriguez, Kean Fry, Travis Farmer, a lot of big movers out here.
Yeah, and we just hit this halfway point, Luke. Who would you take to win this race if you had to bet on somebody at this point?
You know, I feel like the favorite choice here would be Dawson Price. I think that's a pretty fair assumption. But I'm gonna have to think. You got a good pick there.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go Dawson Price. He just made his way up into the top 5 here. We see really good short run speed for Aiden Stevens, and it looks like we're seeing some good long run speed from Omar Rodriguez, but I think all around, I think the safest pick would be the 54 car.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, but I don't know. I got something. I got something telling me Jacob Petrosky. I don't know what it is.
Alright. Laps around here. We got 70 to go, and it looks like that position has been taken for Petrosky over Stevens, and Farmer is also taken. And this is kind of the tire wear issue we saw last somewhat long run for Aiden Stevens, where he loses the grip and he starts fading quick. And I know he'll find it back pretty quickly on short runs, but you know, if we were to stay green out here for 20, 30 more laps, I don't know what that would look like for the rest of his race.
Oh man, we see another car loose.
Well, I think that might be giving it up for the leaders. Yeah, but how about Kenny McCullough? We haven't talked much about him. He started from the rear and was involved in that first wreck we saw where many cars took damage. He had I think a little bit of damage. He was able to clear it up, and he's now running 6th place.
Definitely in a good spot to be in right now as we are inching ever so closely. Really are starting to see that breakaway once again.
Ooh, and the caution flies.
I'm getting a read that it is Richard Elliott involved. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like Richard Elliott is kind of turning in at that turning point, and the 8 car of Daryl Johnson not turning enough, and kind of, you know, not straight lining, but also not straight lining, and just getting into that left rear of Richard Elliott. So I'd say that one's on the 8 car of Daryl Johnson.
I think I'd probably have to follow on that one there. But either way, it doesn't seem like it was
Crazy though, because Richard Elliott, I want to keep it off the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like everybody did pretty good at holding that one together, but here come the pits, Kevin. It seems like anybody who is anybody is making their way into the pits here, except for Cooper Liardi.
Yeah, Cooper Liardi trying something different out here.
Same goes for the 18 of Sean Merriman.
Yeah, little 2 cars trying something different. Last coming in on
62 and 57.
So not crazy. I mean, they've got 25, 30 laps on their tires out here, and wanting to try something different, assuming they don't come in the second time around, but look, I remember back in the day, we'd always stay out when it wasn't smart so we could get some pictures for our Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
The 9th gear 1-2 sitting behind the pace car. It was really cool until we got just dusted the second the green flag dropped.
Yeah, and then we were... it at least gave us good time to sit in the back and review the pictures back in the field.
Yeah, do some photo editing,
Yeah.
think of our Instagram caption.
Good times, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It looks like not much changed on the pit cycles as far as, who got in and who got out first. Omar Rodriguez in first and out first. Petrosky 2, Farmer 3, Price 4, Kian Fry 5th. That's the same we saw before the caution, so good on them for all executing their pit stops. And if you're Jacob Petrosky, if you're Omar Rodriguez, it's going to be about showing patience here, because you want to get around Cooper Liardi and Sean Merriman, and you want to do it fast. But at the same time, yeah, that is the issue. We're gonna see checkups, we're gonna see stackups, and good on Petrosky there to hit the brakes. He knows he's gonna lose a lot of track position. I'm sure he's not thrilled, but he was able to avoid an incident there.
Smart thing to do.
Omar Rodriguez able to fly around and start working a gap on the the guys behind him. That's exactly how he wanted the restart to go. Blaze Billings got loose out of 4 and able to save it. We stay green out here.
And that turn 4 exit just seems to be the one that's getting everyone tonight.
Now making a move is going to be Travis Farmer on Cooper Leardy. Looking to his inside. And the difference in grips is shown as he's going to fly by him.
Jake Petrosky's turn behind Sean Merriman.
Farmer trying to get back-to-back regular season wins out here in WWSS. He is in the hunt now and closing that gap on Omar Rodriguez.
I don't even know if I would say in the hunt. I think he is the hunter. He is closing the distance on him lap by lap. Good bit of racing to do. We got about 54 more times to go around. We have yet another caution out here, and I believe we're getting a read here. That one was Garrett Hummel.
Yeah, I'm seeing Ty Carino and Heath Joe as well, but I don't think I think the caution was flown for Hummel.
Let's go and watch.
Oh, we'll watch Hummel first.
Oh no, it does happen in front of him. It initiated around Heath Joe. Let's see.
And you know, I'm surprised the caution flew for this then, because it looked like both of these guys had a tremendous save.
Good save. Oh. So we saw that. We saw.
I spy.
We saw the two nice saves.
You were right on the initial Hummel. Just, I think he checks for the
incident up ahead.
I think he checks up for the incident up ahead, and just his tires and his brakes did not agree.
Just didn't agree, and that happens.
Yeah, and I think if you're Sean Merriman and if you're Cooper Leardy, I think this kind of plays into your strategy. You know, you're on those old tires. You wanted the guys to come out on their fresh set and burn off about 10, 15 laps worth and then come in and take yours. And we're going to see if they're going to be able to make up some spots now on the freshest tires in the field.
We'll see what they can do. It looks like most of them are sitting just a little bit outside of the top 10, so they definitely got some ground to make up out here, but they're going to have just under 100 or just under 50 laps to go. this time around, we will have officially crossed 100 laps out here. We will have 50 more to go. Going to be Omar Rodriguez here with the jump, with Travis Farmer on his outside, your previous race winner. Pace car is making its way in, and we are green once again, and Omar Rodriguez. We are up to the high side. Way back down.
And how about Kean Fry fighting for a top 4 position? Now he's been slowly working his way up through the field.
A lot of these guys have, Kevin. A lot of the guys have kind of laid low throughout the duration of this race and have slowly made their way towards that top 10.
Some sleepers.
They're all starting to get into those positions. They want to be. Got a little battle going on right now. A little wall contact going on behind them. A little battle going on right now between Richard Elliott and Stevens. Three wide behind him. It is a dangerous game to play, especially on a smaller track like this.
Absolutely. Very tight window there, but they made it work, and I'll be damned, it looked pretty cool. But how about Dawson Price up into 3rd place now, and he's in the hunt?
Everybody up there near the front bunch seems to be pretty single file apart from this battle. It's still going on between Aiden Stevens and Daryl Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's time we started thinking tires here, because I don't know if these guys can make it another 50 laps on their tires or fuel, but I also don't know if they can make it on fuel, if a pit stop would be feasible, because I'm sure some of the guys are going to try to make it here.
Yeah, and oh man, hard into the wall is Heath Job. And he is missing a front bumper after that one. And that's going to bring out our double-digit caution.
10.
Yeah, that was a hard lick he took there. Back and take a look at that one.
Going to be on Heath Job. I mean, unfortunate that he was kind of the recipient of the damage there, but he comes up into the 99. And kind of Newton's Law there gets them both after the wall contact. And I don't know if Kean Fry is going to have any damage just from kind of getting sandwiched there, but Heath Job definitely will have some damage. that's going to leave us here with Omar Rodriguez still out front, with Petrosky and Price behind him. Not much has changed there, but they were definitely starting to close that gap and starting to race, so...
Yeah, we got another mover up there, Daryl Johnson. He's made his way up there to that top 5.
Yeah, and he keeps clawing back. He's got 9 lives out here. I know we saw him get some damage earlier on, and then take a spin and hit the pit, go into the pits another time.
It don't matter. He's out there still
But,
kicking.
yeah, he keeps finding his way back there, and good on him.
Yeah, key to these long races like this, it's perseverance. These guys are showing a good display of it out here, as we still have 20 drivers on the lead lap out here. We started with, I believe it was at 33. Lights off the pace car. We're going to be getting ready to go green this time.
Green flag. Omar Rodriguez on the watch here. Dawson Price looking to the inside of Jacob Petrosky, and he's going to clear into second place. That is not what you want to see if you're Omar Rodriguez. Ooh,
Not
but
at
that
all.
is.
That is. Just that little tap of the wall gives you just that little bit of extra speed advantage you need. But a vast majority of those guys in that front bunch are now into that single file line. First move here up near the front. Kenny McCullough's making his move on Travis Farmer. He's going to have it on the inside, and it's going to move him up to the 4th place position.
Yeah, Kenny McCullough on a mission here. We haven't talked about him too much this evening. He hasn't been, up towards the lead much, but he's been sneaky good, sneaky fast, and he's starting to showcase that. Yeah, in that lap we saw 5 different guys set their personal best lap, so new tires as well as maybe a cleaner track in terms of amount of cars on the field is starting to help these guys get into their rhythm. And also, it's becoming go time. These guys aren't wanting to waste any more time in the latter part of this race.
And at this point, if you save the car long enough for this out here, it's about time to make something happen. Dawson Price really running down Omar Rodriguez. He is getting tight upon his bumper.
And he's fallen off a little bit. It's a very ebb and flow. We see a surge from Price, we see a surge from Rodriguez. Jacob Petrosky trying to fend off Kenny McCullough, though, as they are about nose to tail.
Kenny McCullough really looking for that inside right now on Jacob Petrosky.
Ooh, and caution flies right when things were about to get good. I'm reading. I don't know. What do you got, Luke?
Taking a look back here, I believe I might have found it.
I think you might have.
Bit of a spin here by the 31. That's Nick Hames. Let's go back and see if we get any better clues to what happened.
See Blaze Billings coming up behind him. Ooh.
Gives him a good shot.
Gives him a welcome to racing type of move. But
Yeah.
unfortunately for both of them, maybe some front and back end damage just from that hit. But other than that, nothing crazy. I don't imagine Nick Hames has much tire left after, or at least some flat spots after going for that little ride. But other than that, nothing crazy. And we're going to see some pits now from just about everybody. I imagine we're going to have some staying out, though. I think we're going to see another alternate strategy here. It could even be, you know, the Merriman-Liardi group. Once again, we're seeing Aiden Stevens opting to stay out.
It's like John Marino going to stay out as well. Cooper Liardi and Sean Merriman and Nicholas Warner.
Yeah, and you know, I kind of called that because we saw Liardi and Merriman kind of take that second set of theirs about 10 laps later than the rest of the field. So I'd imagine they're shooting for a similar strategy here. You know, they're hoping a caution comes out around lap 30 to or 130 to 135. Then they can come in, get their last set, and try to make it past some cars on that last stint. But as for Warner, as for Stevens, as for Marino, I think they're just, you know, not confident in taking their last set right now, despite what their tires look like. I think they figure we're gonna have another caution, and they don't want to have to run 30 laps on their last set,
or be at risk of falling a lap down. Definitely a bunch of pit strategies that could be working out here, and with us hopping into this back half of this race out here, we'll see how they plan out. Ready to get this thing underway once again. Aiden Stevens is going to be leading this thing off. John Marino on his door. Pace car is in and we are racing once again. Start of lap 123.
Flag is the call.
Go, and everybody looking to make their moves early here.
We see a couple slow towards the back. I'm not quite sure who that is, but it's all sorted out. Omar Rodriguez now trying to get through the field.
Johnson giving the wall a little bit of a ride back there going into turn 1, unfortunately. No doubt kill a bit of his speed there. Man, how about the fields cleared for Aiden Stevens?
Yeah, and you know, I just went back to watch that because I'm not quite sure what happened, and it looked like the two behind him didn't really go. I don't know.
Either way, he's got him a nice little bit of extra distance between the guys behind him here, but with him crossing the line there, that's going to bring us to 25 to go. Now Kenny McCullough looking for the pass on the inside on Omar Rodriguez.
McCullough getting fast when it matters here, trying to take over that second place.
Got some tight racing going on right now for second place. Kenny gonna file in behind Omar.
Yeah, and I think at this point they're both content to try to, help each other out to catch Aiden Stevens as opposed to battle for second. They've got the fresher car. They've got the time. I mean, the times are showing that they're gaining. It's just a matter of can they get there and get around fast enough. Oh, and there's the yellow flag.
Getting
Number
a
12.
read on Ty Carino. He is backwards with smoke going on right now.
Boy.
Oh.
That was a hard hit. That's my initial reaction.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that initial reaction there. Let's go back and see if we can get that broken down a little further. Overall, though, looks like it was relatively contained once again. But it's going to leave the front opened up for Omar Rodriguez and Kenny McCullough.
Stevens, this is kind of what I said the strategy would be. They hope 10, 15 laps of tire wear goes onto these other cars, and they can come in and take their last set with about 20 to go.
And if it wasn't go time before, it is most definitely go time now.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny McCullough getting his...
looking really good.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, this is looking really good for Omar Rodriguez and Kenny McCullough. I know all race we kind of talked about. I know you guessed Petrosky, I guessed Dawson Price, but both of them are kind of buried in a little bit more than I would have expected them to be with 19 to go. So I think we might see a McCullough-Rodriguez battle here.
We'll just see. I know Kenny's hungry for the win out here. We're going to be at 18 to go when we go green out here, and the pace car is going to make its way in this time around. And off we go racing once again. Green flags the call, and Omar Rodriguez with a good jump.
Yeah, both Omar Rodriguez and Kenny McCullough are able to get out single file in front of fighting Travis Farmer and Sean Merriman.
That's exactly what they wanted to happen there off of that start. But a few more breaking free and getting loose, one of which being Dawson Price and the other being Travis Farmer. about that third and fourth place. Awesome Price setting his fastest lap last lap at 22:89.
Yeah, that's actually going to be the fastest lap of anybody.
Yeah, we're seeing some fast laps out here by these guys.
Oh yeah, no tire saving now. These guys are pushing it.
Giving her all she's got and more out here.
Ooh, a little bit of contact between leaders.
They hold it together, but they're door to door. Momentarily, but Omar clears. 13
Omar
laps
clears,
to
and
go.
that little battle there is not bad for Travis Farmer or Dawson Price as they're closing the gap.
Not at
And
all,
here comes
but
Jacob Petrosky as
I
well.
was gonna say, don't count him out. He's in the draft. He's right there with them.
About 3/10 of a gap here for Omar Rodriguez with just 12 laps to go. I'd say at this point he's fully mirror driving and trying to manage that gap best he can.
Just 10 short laps to go out here.
And they're putting up almost identical laps, Luke. Just looking at their last lap, Omar Rodriguez about half a tenth faster, maybe. But Travis Farmer out of the top 5 actually had the fastest there. But how about Aiden Stevens? He's back up into that top 5, and we know he's on a little bit fresher tires. I don't think we should count him out. If he can navigate through traffic quickly, we know he has the short run speed. We've said it throughout the night. He could get himself a podium finish here. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it's 6 drivers, in my opinion, that I think all have a chance at this thing out here if they can make the speed work. Oh!
Yeah, and then that gap.
I'm not too sure what we saw back there, Kevin. I don't know if it was a little bit of a brake lockup or something or what, but Aiden Stevens now very off speed. And Dawson Price a good bit off speed as well.
Put the jinx on Aiden Stevens.
Just maybe.
McCullough slowly closing that gap with 6 laps to go out here. He's got to find something. I think it's, at this point, coming down to the 2 of them. Both of these guys in starting 1-2 had EOLs at the beginning of this race, Luke. They both had to navigate through the hells of traffic here at Rockingham. Only one of them can win this race.
That's right, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty last handful of laps out here. You can count them on one hand. All the guys getting close, though, out here. It really can be anyone's race out here if anyone gets that move made.
3 to go, and Kenny McCullough got a little squirrely there. That's going to give Omar Rodriguez a little bit more of a gap. Two laps to go. Omar Rodriguez with about 3/10 of a hold over Kenny McCullough. Travis Farmer, Dawson Price, and Jacob Petrosky out back. And white flag flies here. 1 lap to go at Rockingham. Does Omar Rodriguez have what it takes to hang on here? A little bit of wall contact from McCullough. He is really wheeling this thing.
Oh, a little
Through 3
more.
and 4.
A little more wall contact from one behind him.
And Omar Rodriguez from back to front is gonna win it here at Rockingham.
And what a win, Kevin.
Yeah, what a race, what a win for Omar Rodriguez.
We wait for the official results to make their way up here. What a win out there for Omar Rodriguez, starting way back in the back of the field out there. Just your top 5 unofficial here. Omar Rodriguez getting credited with the win out here, whipping up some shitties out there in front of the pit exit. Being followed up by Kenny McCullough in 2nd place, Travis Farmer in 3rd, Jacob Petrosky in 4th, and Aiden Stevens in 5th, and many more after that. It was a good race out there so far, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah, and I enjoyed Rockingham a lot. I mean, we saw a little bit of everything. We weren't able to see the green flag pit stops, but aside from that, I can't complain at all. I mean, we saw 2 guys go from the back of the field and pierce through traffic all evening and make it to the front to get a 1-2.
Overall, I don't think we have much to complain about out here, and Lamar's putting up some nice shitties right now. It looks like he's wrapped up with those. I believe we're going to probably get the interview portion of the broadcast started out here.
Yep, as I'm waiting for the guys to get on over to the waiting room. And it looks like the under's going to hit. We had 12 cautions out here, and I hate to, toot my own horn, but I think that was a great line.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Well, I think I'm starting to get a hang of this thing, Luke. That's a few weeks in a row where the line hasn't been that bad.
No, not bad at all.
And I'm going to go ahead and pull guys over from the post-race holler channel. I'm going to start with your 3rd place finisher, Travis Farmer, and see what he had to say about this race. His season has really turned around. He's starting to come out and get shit done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him over. Hey, Travis, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, 2 weeks, or 2, I guess, regular season official weeks in a row talking to you here in the booth. And,
Yeah.
that's always a good sign. You're able to get a 3rd place finish out here tonight. Do you want to talk us through how the race felt?
Oh man, that was a tough one for me, man. I was all stressed out, hyped that race. Afraid I was gonna get took out or something stupid, man. But yeah, man, that's a good race. We all did good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw you, up towards the front. We saw some different tire strategies throughout, and then it kind of seemed like they're at that last 20 lap stretch. It was about a 5-car breakaway. Do you feel like you had anything for Omar and Kenny, or do you feel like 3rd place was kind of written in the stars tonight?
I mean, I was hoping I could get around him, but yeah, there was no getting around those two. They're quick, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But a great finish here, a podium finish tonight after a win a couple weeks back. You got the momentum now. Unfortunately, we're going to a track that kind of turns the season on its head, Watkins Glen. How do you feel about taking these ARCA cars to a road course?
Oh, I feel really good about that. I like Watkins Glen in these cars. It's gonna be fun.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, congratulations, Travis, on a third place finish out here. Anyone like to thank a shout out before we get you out of here?
Just my teammates, the league, and you guys.
All right, well, we appreciate it, Travis, and congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. That was Travis Farmer getting it done, P3, and he says he likes Watkins Glen. Luke, I remember back in the burnt rubber racing days, we used to see him up there competing with some of the road course ringers. So I know he's got some speed there, and I can't wait to see that. But next interview I want to get is going to be. Let me see. Well, we had Kenny until we didn't. I'm not seeing him in there anymore.
Hmm.
So I think I'm going to just
Bring in the man of
go
the
ahead
hour.
and go straight to your race winner here. Hey, Omar, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
That's loud and clear.
Hey man, what a race and what a win I hear. I know all eyes were on you and Connor starting this race with the $5 penalties that you guys were assessed starting from the rear. And unfortunately for Connor, his night ended, very quickly. But as for you, you're able to pierce through traffic throughout the whole night, put yourself in a good position with about 20 to go, and hold off Kenny McCullough. You want to talk us through that last stretch?
Yeah, absolutely. When that last yellow came out and I saw Aiden Stevens pit, I knew I was gonna be in for a rough one if we had any more yellows. Because that new set of tires made all the difference tonight, especially towards the end of the race. Kenny was there, man. I am honestly a little shocked he didn't pass me because I felt like I kept butchering 1 and 2. It was
Yeah,
it's probably the most stressed I've been in this in the sim, honestly.
yeah, and you were able to hold him off. It was very ebb and flow. We saw him have a good lap. We saw you have a good lap, and I think unfortunately Aiden Stevens had some wall contact that killed his run there at the end. But you think this is gonna incentivize folks to want to put you towards the rear more often or less often? I mean, it didn't really do anything for whoever paid it off this week.
The guys are talking about getting the 250 together that it would take to park me for the season.
Yeah, I saw. What was the in between? Was it a drive through for
$20
or
drive through.
20? Yeah, that's not a bad deal. If you really want to hurt someone's race, a drive through is a good place to start. But as for tonight, the EOL didn't do much. But I want to talk to you about Watkins Glen now because we're going forward. You got the momentum, but it's a completely different race than what we've seen. How do you feel going into a road course?
I've gotten better, not necessarily at road courses, but at the Glen. It's probably the easiest for an oval guy to pick up and learn well. I don't think I'm going to do extraordinarily well, but I hope to at least be able to maintain a nice points cushion, maybe score a top 10. That would be ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as for tonight, it was a great race out here. You're able to take the checkered flag and get into victory lane. Anyone you like to thank or shout out before we get you out of here?
Oh man, who do I gotta shout out the whole league at this point. Uh, we had, I believe, 33 or 34 entries tonight. Like, man, my drivers keep showing up, keep showing out. Every week, someone new's on the top. I gotta shout out my girlfriend, holding me down, making sure I'm able to keep a level head every week. I'd like to shout out the rest of my administration team. They absolutely take a weight off my shoulders when it comes to managing this whole thing. A special shout out to all our donors, especially the ones who, the one who put in the $5 for me to go to the back tonight and maybe avoid some of the early carnage. Oh man, I gotta thank you guys for giving us a kick-ass broadcast every week, of course.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh man, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's all I got, man.
All right. Yeah. Well, don't celebrate too hard. I know it's a weeknight. I guess that's the downside of having a weeknight race. I know a lot of the leagues we run, guys like to celebrate pretty hard, so don't celebrate too hard. But celebrate kind of hard. It's a win at Rockingham. But congratulations on that.
Maybe a
And
drink, but don't get trashed.
yeah, exactly. One or two, but yeah, congratulations on the win, and we hope to talk to you soon. I think Rockingham's going to be or Watkins Glen's going to be a blast. But as for tonight, congratulations, Omar.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
That was Omar Rodriguez winning here at Rockingham. Luke, what a race!
Yeah, what a race indeed, Kevin. It was a good race, and it was a good win for Omar going from the back all the way to the front out there. Really did have the ultimate comeback story out there.
Yeah, and we didn't get an interview with Kenny McCullough, but I know we talked to him a couple weeks ago, and it was after that heartbreaking loss at I think Dover, where he had the lead going out of 4, and he came in and he said to us, his style of racing is not using contact to win, and we saw him a couple times in those last 20 laps get to the back bumper of Omar Rodriguez, but ultimately decided not to do anything egregious and let speed talk for itself, and Omar Rodriguez was able to take the win here. So I imagine if we were to pick Kenny's brain on this race, he'd have a similar, thought process. But a great top 3 here for Omar Rodriguez, Kenny McCullough, and Travis Farmer. Then the rest of your top 10 is Petrosky, Stevens, Price, Merriman, Elliott, Warner, and Kean Fry. Well, I think that's gonna about do it here tonight for Rockingham. A huge thanks to everyone that came out. Huge thanks to all the viewers, all the drivers, everyone that makes this possible. Omar, congratulations on the win. Thanks to him for having us. Thanks to Logan on the RC. Huge thanks to Fast Fred's Wrap Shop. Go get yourself a new wrap for your car. Make it look pretty, especially if you're in this league, because we don't want ugly paint schemes on our broadcast. So huge thanks to Fred. And I think that's gonna about do it. Luke, you got anything else?
Shoot, nothing else. Other thing I got is we'll see you guys all here next week for the road course. We'll see you all at Watkins Glen. Good night, race fans.
Peace.